Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Naruto Shippuden episode review. This one is going to be for episode 478, the Unison Sign. Straight away, link to watch the episode if you haven't seen it yet is in the description. But yeah, let's get into the review. Overall, I thought this was a really good episode. A worthy follow-up to the previous two big fight episodes. And in many ways, this is a kind of more plot focused, more character focused, important episode than the fight. The fight is Sasuke still in his way of thinking, Naruto as we've known him, fighting. This episode is character development for Sasuke that we haven't seen in so long. This is the moment we've been waiting for to see how they would approach bringing Sasuke back to Naruto's side. And in that sense, that's why this episode is so important, because this is what the show has kind of been leading towards since the very end of part 1. Basically, all of Shippuden has been leading up to this moment. Naruto finally kind of getting Sasuke back onto the correct side, his points getting across to him, and Sasuke understanding, realizing it. So the fight episodes were amazing in terms of just set piece animation moments, and without the fight, you don't get to this moment, and the fight is always going to be important because of that. But plot character wise, this is such an important episode, and I thought it was really well executed. They didn't cover a ton of new canon content, in that I was expecting this episode to probably cover what they needed to, the conversation when both of them wake up, plus most of chapter 699. Instead, what they did was that they just devoted the entire episode to basically expanding out that conversation between Naruto and Sasuke, because it is so important. As I said, it's the really defining moment of kind of the end of the series, of this is what brings them back together, and it basically kind of is one of the most important moments for Sasuke as a character, and it was really important to get that across really well. So that's why I like this episode. They spent time on what in the manga it's an important scene, and a good amount of pages is devoted to it. But devoting an entire episode to it, it made it feel so important that this was finally the unison of them again. Them doing the unison sign again, basically. Getting into some specifics. At the start, I really liked the kind of idea of kind of them both being kind of unconscious in this kind of joined unconsciousness world, that they're kind of reflecting on each other's memories, the memories of their friendship, and within the first third of the episode, Naruto kind of goes away, and I really like that moment. It took me a couple of seconds to figure it out, but I'm just like, oh, he holds his arm because that's him waking up. That's the kind of moment where oh, Naruto's won because he's woken up first, and it leaves Sasuke on his own to figure this out, because fundamentally that's it. Naruto's development as a character is, in essence, kind of done. There's still moments to happen with him, but Sasuke is the person to focus on. So I really appreciate most of the episode just being Sasuke kind of left there with his own memories, Naruto's memories, and just the events that have just happened to figure it all out. And they cover so many interesting moments. Straight away, I suppose the two of them thinking that they're both dead, they're in more kind of reflective mood, and you can see that Sasuke is a kind of different type of character here. The way they're approaching, handling him, he's much more, very much reflective on the past. That he admits that he kind of thought of Naruto in the same way. That we've always known the way Naruto has seen Sasuke, but outside of Sasuke referring to Naruto as his best friend, we've never overly known why he feels that way, the explanation behind that. But finding out that Naruto first saying that, when these things happened to you, I felt that pain. And then Sasuke admitting much the same, to kind of our surprise, that when he saw Naruto going through something, it hurt him as well, because it was almost this brother relationship that they had, and that was such a big moment, or like even early on in the episode, just Sasuke admitting that. And then as the episode progressed, seeing him, especially the moment where he saw Naruto's life story, basically the entire character arc of Naruto, that was so well done. And then he kind of sees it and realizes that, like, it's kind of not this, it's not this moment of like he realizes that he was wrong, but that he made some wrong choices um in the way he thought about things, that he had a chance earlier on in the series to form these bonds again. He thought of Team 7 as a family, and it was a relief that he could find these people again. But he also saw it as a weakness, because if these people were taken away, he'd be back to the situation he was in after Itachi did what he did to the rest of the clan. And you can see that that's the key moment. That Naruto, despite not having any parents, despite being treated as an outcast just like Sasuke was, didn't like base the rest of his relationships on past experiences. If people were open to him, he would let them, become an important person to him. Whereas Sasuke held back on that because he had had them before, and it's that kind of mistake he made of separating himself too much from people who did care about him. And so the importance of Naruto to Sasuke here, why did you go so far in this fight? Blowing your own arm off against me. Not to kill me, but to stop me and bring me back to the right side. Like, why would you do that? Who would do something that crazy for me? And it's at that moment he realizes just how close of a friend, how important of a person Naruto was to him, that he would go this far for him. And it's just this admittance that Sasuke really did feel the same way in the end. And then also how they used Itachi, Sasuke seeing the two key kind of Naruto Itachi moments of Itachi leaving, basically, I'll leave Sasuke to you, you're the only one who can bring him back. And then, I think more importantly here, never forget your friends, and remember that the Hokage is not someone who is acknowledged. It is when you are acknowledged by all that you become the Hokage. And the whole start of the fight, reflecting back to the start of the fight, that was the kind of disagreement they had at the start. That Sasuke just saw the position of Hokage as a leadership title to take, and Naruto realized that it's the people who kind of choose the Hokage. And he realized at that moment that, like, the two people he was jealous of, always looked up towards, who stood in front of him, always walked in front of him, Naruto and Sasuke, who I thought was a big reveal, just that he sees both of them in a very similar way at this point in time. That they both felt that way about the Hokage, and he was the one who had the different view on the Hokage, and he kind of realizes that in the end that was the key mistake he made. And especially, I think the conclusion he came to over seeing Naruto's entire life story was that Naruto is very suited to become Hokage, and he doesn't quite make the decision that, like, okay, I'm not going to attempt to become Hokage now and kind of be the right-hand man for the village when the time comes. But I think in essence you can see that that's kind of where they're leading towards with the moment. But especially like that the moment when like they do wake up and they start talking to each other, it's a really big moment because Naruto's been up, and you can see that there's a level of calmness because they can't really move outside of talking to each other. They both realize that their arms have been blown off, and that if they do anything crazy, they'll be killed. But just the energy that Naruto still seems to have, despite the fight that they've been through. He can't move, of course, but the way he's able to shout and like turn to Sasuke and just be really energetic, it got across that like he's come out of this fight a little bit better than Sasuke, and that is why in the end Sasuke admits that he lost this fight, and he's happy to have lost the fight because he realizes he's in a better place because of that if he had won the fight, he would have just killed his best friend, whereas him losing the fight means that he actually has all these people to come back to, which leads to that really important moment where just in his mind he reflects that like all of these people, basically all of the important characters within the series, lined up in front of him, but he's not in that picture. he then kind of like blinks and looks again, and he's there standing next to Naruto, and that's kind of what it should have been. That this is the position he could have been in, involved in the kind of end of this war, as like a key part, just as important as Naruto. And he kind of realizes at that point what he kind of missed out on happening, and he fully understands at that point in time that that is what he really wants, to be in that position next to Sakura, Naruto, and stuff like that. Um, so I thought that was a really well done scene, especially the animation on Sasuke's face as he kind of just had this really emotional realization, kind of looked down on the verge of tears, and then obviously like when we cut back to the scene, um, Naruto sees that Sasuke is crying, and it's such an important moment. Like he doesn't really say anything to it. It's just Sasuke turns away, and you can tell that this was something that's been waiting to come out for such a long time. We have, outside of like the flashbacks of like the massacre of the Uchihas, we haven't really seen Sasuke cry ever, and this was just a really important moment to do it in, just give so much emotional range and character to Sasuke. So like coming towards the end of the review here, such a good episode. I just so appreciate that they extended out this kind of one scene into an entire episode, reflecting on everything that's come before, focusing more so on Sasuke, though the Naruto sections were really good as well, and just really bringing that character together to the point where you get now why, after all of these years, all of these episodes, Naruto's finally gotten through to him. So really, really well done to kind of end it at that point, and then they you kind of zoom out and realize the full extent of their injuries, that their like arms are kind of missing basically up to the like halfway point of their shoulder almost, but the blood kind of links them as if they're doing the Unison Sign if they still had their arms, and then they're both lying on top of the hands of the statues of Madara and Hashirama, who have conveniently fallen into a Unison Sign picture, and it's a perfect visual to kind of end it off, that Naruto sacrificed so much for Sasuke, and now he's finally gotten through to him, that he's had to nearly kill himself, but he's finally got Sasuke back. There's still obviously the immediate aftermath to come, and we'll see what happens in the next episode, but I was so pleased with this episode. In many ways, this is a more complex episode to analyze than the whole two fight scene episodes, because the fight is the fight. They use their big attacks, it comes down to a big battle, it's emotional as they're fighting for their own ideals and stuff like that, but this one is so complex because this is Sasuke's big moment of realization, and I think they nailed it. So going into the preview, looks like they're either going to do a kind of fillery type thing of just what happened immediately after they were kind of initially healed by Sakura and made their way back from the Valley of the End, and then maybe transition into 699 stuff. And I think that makes sense to actually extend that out. Really follow the two of them on on their way back to the village. I think that's actually a really kind of cool idea if we get basically the initial reaction of these two coming back, everyone released from the Infinite Tsukiyomi and stuff like that. If this could be really, really well done, and again, another extended scene. I have no idea if they're going to do chapter 700 stuff here or not, because obviously the Boruto movie's already out. They may just leave the Boruto stuff, like the kind of chapter 700 stuff, until later, and just maybe fill in the kind of timeline before then a little bit more, because I think one of the 480, I think episode 480, 2 episodes time, is like a filler episode about Naruto and Hinata, so that's going to be interesting to see how they do there. But yeah, pretty much going to end the video there. Links in the description once again if you want to see the episode, but also to my Twitter and my Tumblr if you want to follow me on social media. If you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos, better videos, links to my Patreon campaign and also my PayPal donation link are in the description as well. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.